Chuck, just to get your perspective when you were a public trustee of Social Security. The issue comes up all the time. We certainly hear it about the Social Security wouldn't have a problem if the politicians hadn't stolen the money and the trust funds have been raised. So, I mean, when you were a public trustee, how did you deal with that? Did you get that question on the Hill and talk to people about it?
Oh, absolutely. And there are politicians and wannabe politicians running around saying that today, right? And just, for the benefits of this audience, and I know everyone here knows it, that's not correct, right? The shortfall in Social Security exists despite the assumption that every penny plus interest of that trust fund is going to be paid back, right? That the system has actually been running cash deficits since 2010. The federal government has been making payments from general revenues of interest and now principal to redeem that debt and to redeem the trust fund. And so when we say that the system is going to be belly up in the early 2030s, that's not because the trust fund was stolen. That's after everything credited to the trust fund was paid back with interest. So it's very wrong. Now, in fairness to the people who say this and believe it, there is sort of a kernel of tangential truth there, in the sense that I think most academic analyses have found that the presence of Social Security surpluses tends, from a political economy perspective, to induce additional spending and consumption by the federal government, right? And so in that sense, you could say, well, economically, those trust fund surpluses are being spent in a sense, right? Because they're not really being saved. They never were. And there was an ample body of academic literature that came out in the 1990s and 2000s, basically, I think, supporting that view of the economics. And so I think it is fair to say that we're in the situation starting in 2010 where things were as difficult for us economically as if we didn't have a trust fund, because we still face the full cost of paying benefits because we hadn't really saved anything. But it wasn't a matter of embezzling or stealing the trust funds. It wasn't a matter of Social Security just needing to be paid back what was being stolen. It's not any of those things. The basic problem is that we're promising a lot more benefits than worker contributions could reasonably finance.
Yeah, I mean, I think the analogy is like a bank account. So you go to your bank, you set up a bank account, you make a deposit. The bank credits your account, so it has your name on it, your account number. You put in a deposit, there's $100 there, and that stays in your account unless you write a check and make a withdrawal. But what does the bank do with your money? It takes your $100 and it pools it with all the other deposits and it makes loans. And so the way to think about it is the government is the bank, your account is Social Security, payroll taxes go in as deposits. They can only be withdrawn to pay Social Security benefits. So, the accounting is always very straightforward. The account, the trust fund, deposits, payroll taxes. But what happens is, just like the bank makes a loan, hopefully the loan will be good and it'll get the money back so that the deposit is available for you when you want to make a withdrawal.